Hey guys, it's me, it's Queen Osset Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, pass it on to somebody else who might like it, and drop us a positive comment in the comment section. And don't forget to stick around to the end of the video because at the end I'm going to read out some of my favorite positive comments, and maybe one of your comments was one of my favorites. So let's see today's cool question. Why is it that Aquarius tests people when they like them? Like when I have a crush on someone or want them to be my friend, I first get them through a mental obstacle to see if they match my vibe. Why do you think that is? I don't know if all Aquarius do this, but I definitely do this. And I think it has a twofold meaning here. I think that Aquarius do this when we do because number one, remember I told you Aquarius really don't trust people. It takes a lot for us to trust somebody, and it's very easy to lose our trust. So when we first meet a new person and we're really feeling them, because my idealistic self, I'm like on cloud 9. So when we meet somebody and we're really feeling them, it starts to get to us like, can I really trust this person? So at first, of course, no, but as time progresses, we want to see if we can trust this person. So a lot of Aquarius will test you to see if you're trustworthy. They will do things to see if you can be trusted. Like, for example, one time, and this actually was kind of weird because it didn't work out, but one time I left money on an altar. Anybody who has a money altar or a prosperity altar, you often leave money on the altar because money is said to draw money. So I left money on the altar after the ritual, because by that point you can put it back in your wallet or you can leave it. But anyway, after the ritual, I was getting the money. I was supposed to get the money and put it in my wallet because I was going shopping. But before doing so, I left it on the altar to see if this particular person was trustworthy around money, if she was a thief, basically. And she didn't steal anything. And a year later, she did. Which I thought was so weird because I'm like, you passed the test then, but you definitely didn't pass now. So a lot of Aquarius do little things like that to test you to see whatever it is they want to see. And trust is one of the big ones. So they might leave money. They might leave their phone. For example, you might be dating an Aquarius and they leave their phone and go to the bathroom. Now, if you're the kind of person who's not thinking like that, you might be thinking, ooh, this is my chance to look through their phone. And the Aquarius, in a lot of cases, left the phone there to see if you would go through their phone. You see? So you might not peep that. You might think they just accidentally left their phone. Nah. They were trying to see if they could trust you, if you could be trusted with their phone without trying to go through it or whatever the case is. So a lot of Aquarius do little things like that to see if a person is trustworthy. And I think for me, I remember thinking to myself, at least I'll know up front. It's like I want to know up front, can I trust this person? Another thing, and you mentioned this at the end when you talked about do they match my vibe. Aquarius do not get along, especially romantically speaking. We get along better in friendships and associations than romance. So we don't get along romantically with everybody. So a lot of us will test a person just to see if they're worth our time. Now, I don't really test people in this way. I'm more of somebody I'm more likely to test somebody to see if they're trustworthy. But a lot of Aquarius will test you to see if you're worthy of their time. Basically, they'll ask you little questions. They'll try to quiz your knowledge of things. They may ask you something that they already know. Like a long time ago, I did this. This was like when I was 20 years old. But I remember I met somebody that I really did like. So as we were talking to each other, I remember this was on an old program called Black Voices. And his name on Black Voices was Imhotep. Now, I was an African American Studies major in college. I have 2 degrees in African American Studies. So, of course, I knew who Imhotep was. I mean, every first year student knows that. But I said to him, so what does your name mean? I just wanted to see if he knew who Imhotep was. Because a lot of people use, they use names or things that sound edgy or sound Afrocentric, So I wanted to see if he was a wannabe or if he really knew his history, if he really knew his culture. So I asked him and he did. So I was like, okay, so you're not a wannabe. So these are the kind of things I'm talking about that an Aquarius will do. An Aquarius is generally pretty smart, so we're using thinking circles around the people who are around us. So if you're doing that as an Aquarius, you're really just trying to see if the person matches what you believe in without, especially in the form of that question. I didn't want to say to him, hey, so are you a wannabe? Are you one of them people that ain't really in, who don't really know but pretend like they know? That's a rude question. So instead of saying that, I just said, oh, so what does your name mean? Oh, Imhotep, though, it's, so it's ancient Egypt, blah, 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 blah. And he knew all of it, And I was like, okay. Now, mind you, what that showed me is something that was important to me was something that he was aware of, was into, basically. Now, when you talk about it to see if they match your vibe, yeah, you're going to put them through like mental things like questions or, different scenarios and things like that. But at this point, I don't do that anymore. Because at this point, I can tell just from, I can intuit in the conversation we have the first time if I'm going to be romantically compatible with this person. I know people who have been trying to talk to me romantically for years. And they always, come at me, in nice little ways. They're not pushy or aggressive. And they're always wondering, why I don't really respond to them. And it's because I knew in the first conversation that we not going to work. Nothing wrong with you. You're probably a wonderful person. But I could tell from the interaction, from just intuiting, that we not going to make it. So it's no point in me trying, knowing that we're not going to make it. Okay, so that's why I think that is. I think Aquarius test people. I think intelligent people do this. I don't think it's just Aquarius, but I think that a lot of us have a tendency to do this because, like I said, the trust issue, and because we have a tendency not to get along romantically with a lot of people. And Aquarius also hate wasting time. So some of these little mental things we believe sometimes can help us not waste time in a particular situation. Now, like I told you in the case with the money, that is not an indicator if a person is trustworthy. She didn't steal anything then, but she stole something later. So it really wasn't an indication that she was trustworthy. It was probably an indication that either she didn't notice or that she was, on her P's and Q's. Because a lot of people, their representative is out when they first meet you. So maybe that was just an indication that her representative was on their best behavior. And a year later, after our relationship had become closer and more relaxed, then it's like, oh, she won't notice. She got money all the time. She not going to notice. But yes, she do. Because she counts her money. All right, now I have a comment from Megan Sconyers. I think I said that right. And Megan said, I wanted to know if we are polygamist or monogamous people, meaning Aquarius. Aquarius can be either way. I am a monogamous person. I have experienced polyamorous, not polygamous. I've experienced polyamorous situations, but it wasn't long. I didn't like it. I tried it on 2 different occasions and it wasn't for me. So Aquarius can be monogamous or polyamorous or polygamist. Polyamory is more of the idea of having, a whole bunch of different partners, maybe not even a whole bunch. Let's say, for example, you have a wife and you have a girlfriend. That's somebody who is polyamorous. A polygamist is somebody who has more than one wife. So it'd be one man and maybe 5 wives or 3 wives or something like that. So I've tried polyamorous relationships, not polygamous, and it just wasn't for me. So from the Aquarius that I know some Aquarius that prefer polyamorous relationships. And I know some Aquarius who are polygamists, and they, at least from what they tell me, they're in the relationship. I don't know how happy they are, but they're in the relationship. So in Aquarius, as far as polyamory versus monogamy, I know for a fact we can go either way. Aquarius are open-minded like that. So it really just depends on the individual person and what works for their lifestyle. That doesn't work for me. I don't have that much time on my hands, so I don't want a boyfriend and a girlfriend or a wife and a girlfriend. I don't have that much time on my hands. I just want one woman, just one. And some people are fine with that. I know a lot of Aquarius that are fine with that, but it's just not me. So I've come to find that we can go either way depending upon our experiences. And the last one says Irma Nieto. That's what I think that is. I think I said that right. To me, this government has to change to bring new ideas and control of the situation. Well, I think that you're 100% correct. I think that our governmental structures as a global society, I think that our governmental structures seriously need to be rethought out. The United States is not the only country that's having issues right now. A lot of countries are having different kinds of issues. If you watch the world news, you'll see it. So I think that a lot of the problem in our global society is that some of these governmental structures, some of these policies, some of these laws need to change. And I think that a lot of people who are benefiting from them don't want them to change. And that's why we see a lot of the civil unrest we see on different parts of the globe. So I agree with you 100%, Irma. Things need to change. All right, guys, it's time for me to get going. So if you would like to get a reading done, please email me and I will give you an appointment. All right, guys, underneath this video is all my information, and come back soon because I have a lot more to say. See ya.